So this is my first time going on a demo, and a few key things that I think would help everybody out whenever you're looking at demoing a bike is what you should do is put some pedals on that you're familiar with. I'm sure that the local bike shop is going to have some pedals there for you. I would go, if you're used to wearing flats, wear flats. If you're used to wearing some clip-ins, get some clip-ins. If it's your first time riding a bike and you're just going out to demo it, and you're riding in the street, you know, the basic plastic pedals will probably do fine, but I bet your bike shop will, if you ask them for like some flat pedals, they probably have something there that will work for you. Otherwise, maybe take the pedals that you're used to wearing with off of your bike and have them put on, or bring them with you whenever you're going to demo the bike, or bring the bike back to your house like I did and just put the pedals on that you wanted to use. But I think using a set of pedals that you're familiar with is going to be most beneficial for you when going out and demoing a bike. Another thing, you should adjust your brake lever and your gear shifter. That way, not only if you're riding it for the day, you want it to be best comfortable for you, but if you're looking at purchasing this bike, you want to make sure that those brake levers and that gear shifter, the reach for your thumbs and your fingers, you want to make sure that everything's best for you. So another piece of advice for you, adjust the seat post. If the seat post is hydraulic and you can move it up and down, if it's an adjustable seat post, adjust it to where what's most comfortable for you. Another piece of advice would be to go out and purchase a shock pump if that's something that you're into. Whenever you're riding the bike, you definitely want to be with the correct shock pressures. If you don't have a shock pump, I'm sure that the bike shop that you are renting or demoing the bike from will have a shock pump there, and they can help you set up the bike so that it's most comfortable for you and your riding style. Last but not least, I think you should take a multi-tool. Slide it in your pocket, keep it with you, because if you're out on the trail and you want to make some adjustments because you put the brakes out too far in or too far out, that way you can make those adjustments without having to do the complete ride with the position that you actually don't want. You want to have that as close to perfect for you as you can be. Same thing with the seat post. You want to be able to adjust the seat post on the fly. So I think taking along a multi-tool with you on your ride is going to be very beneficial whenever you're demoing, possibly purchasing a bike. So those are just a few key things that I think that would help out whenever you're going out on your first demo.
Okay, so I already took these off of my other bike, and I don't like to put any pedals on without a little bit of grease. So simply, we're gonna put a little bit of dab of grease on there. Take my little tool. We're just gonna get that grease kind of spread around on the threads all the way around. No big deal there. And then most of the pedals go on with a 8mm wrench, and I think some of them might take a 6, but I've already taken these ones off, so I know it takes an 8. So we're gonna put these on. That's it. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do here is I want to take these and move them inwards, because if my hand's comfortably on the grip, it is so far out of my way. I would rather grab the brake lever here. I think that feels best to me personally. And you can see that the brake lever is butted up right against the handlebar grip, so we're going to take it and just scoot it over a little bit. I already got the tool set out for it, which is just a what is this one? It's a 4 millimeter Allen key and a 5 millimeter Allen key. Okay, so first things first is we're going to take the gear selector and loosen it up, and then we're going to scoot it. We're going to scoot it out of the way, and then we're going to get the next tool here, and then we're going to loosen up the brake lever and kind of move it out of the way until we get to where it feels good. Now it's kind of in a shitty spot, so I'll loosen that up. I'll scoot this out of the way. So when I'm in a comfortable riding position, which means my hand is midway on the grip, I like them to be a little bit more down, because if I'm standing up and pedaling, I want to comfortably be able to grab them, and if I'm sitting down pedaling, I want to comfortably grab them. So I want them about right there. So I'm going to hold this brake in place. Is that it? Yeah. So I'm going to hold this brake in place, and then I'm going to snug up the screw. Now, something that happens pretty commonly to me personally. So the clamp that holds the brake lever on and the clamp that holds the gear shifter on is separate. There's two separate clamps, right? Well, if I put the brake where I want, that makes the gear shifters quite a reach for me. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take this bar grip off, slide them both off, and put them on backwards. So I'm going to put or I shouldn't say backwards. I'm going to put the brake lever on first, and then I'm going to put the gear shifter on. That way that gear shifter will be a little bit closer, so it'll be more comfortable for me to shift my thumb. Okay, so for that, it's got lock-on grips, so I need a, what is this one, 2.5. We're just going to unlock the screw there. Set that down. Get that loosened up. Okay, so we got that loosened up. Giant uses these bar ends, so we just got to work this bar end off of there. There we go. Got the bar end off. Slide the grip off. Slide the brake lever off. And just try and slide. Oh man, there's not much cable left. Oh no. So it doesn't appear, this is a demo bike, so it doesn't appear that there's enough cable for me to slide this off. I'm as tight as I can be, which kind of sucks. But we'll just have to make it work now, I guess. It's a demo bike. If it was my bike, I would do what I needed to do to take this off and switch it so it was on the other side, so I could get my gear shifters a little closer to my thumb. But that just isn't going to work on this bike. So that's a demo. It's one of the things we'll just have to work without. So we'll just put everything back on together. Get our grip back on there. Slap our bar end back on there. There we go. Snug up the... That's good. Alright. Reposition the brake lever and the gear shifter. Another pro tip for you guys is, so if you hold your brake in position with one finger and then tighten it with the other, you'll for surely get the brake lever where you want it. Tight, but not too tight. You want it where your brake and derailleur will hopefully move in case of an accident. So you don't want to get it so tight that if you hit a tree or if you hit something that it's just going to snap off. You have a chance to where if something hits it hard enough, it kind of moves down or away rather than just snapping in place because of how hard you have the brake handles and how tight you have your cockpit. But you don't want them so tight that they move out of place. So here we go. Okay. I think I can live with that. So I'm going to leave it right there. All right. Snug it up. I'm going to back it off just a hair. this is going to be about as comfortable as I can get it. So we're just going to snug that down right where it's at. Tight, but not too tight. All right, and that's what I'm going to go with. We'll make that work. So another thing that you want to be sure of to check is your seat height. And you want to make sure that you have just a slight bend whenever you're at the bottom of your pedal stroke, and adjust accordingly. Might take you 1 or 2 tries, but already did that. Just a little reminder to adjust your seat post height to where it's comfortable for you. And yeah, that's that.
All right, guys, I really appreciate you guys being here to this point. If you're here, thank you so much. I'm sure that there were some parts of that video that were a little hard to sit through, but if you did and you're here, I really appreciate it. Thank you all my subscribers. If this is your first time watching my video, thanks for being here. Thanks for suffering to this part. I can't say that enough, simply because I did a few things different than I normally did, than I normally do. For one, this is kind of my first chance at trying at a instructional video. Also, using some new video software. So I just kind of want to go through the 3 things that I emphasized on whenever you're demoing a bike, which is setting up your cockpit, setting your seat post height, and getting some good pedals on there that you're used to. Okay. With that being said, I wanted to add a couple more things to the list. So if you're going out and you're trying to demo a bike, obviously you're going to use your local store, unless you're at maybe a trailhead or something like that, where they're offering free demos, which a lot of bike companies do that. But if you're not and you're in the store and you're looking at demoing a bike, a lot of times you simply have to rent the bike / demo it. So with that in mind, think about it whenever you're going to do this, that you're going to maybe want to check online, see if there's something for scheduling. Make sure that they have the bike that you're interested in demoing or renting. Make sure that they have the size of the bike that you're looking at renting or demoing. Also, you know, there's some prices, you know, so check the prices. Sometimes companies will have like a full day, a weekend, maybe even like a 4-hour deal. So keep that in mind whenever you're looking out and going to rent or demo your first bike from your local bike company. But with that being said, that's really all I have left to say is that. Thank you for watching. Come back. I promise these videos will get better and better each time. Thank you. Bye, YouTube.